Hey there, Sagittarius. I'm going to do a no contact love reading for you because, quite frankly, I have finally finished all of the 12-month love readings, all 12 months updated for your year of 2026. And I am just ready to go into something normal again because it took like 3 weeks for me to upload those videos. And I just want to do a regular, good old fun reading like this one with you. Okay, so we're using the Animal Oriens deck right now, which is based off of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, which means the interpretations of this are going to be the same. We're going to ask, is your person going to contact you? And if they are, then I will do a little bit of an extra energy at the end of it, which talks about what they want to communicate, if that's the case. And to be quite frank, yeah, they definitely do. They are going to communicate with you. This is actually a really good energy. Okay, so the Knight of Cups is here. That's the knight in shining armor. Not the one that's like actually wearing the kind of armor that you'd find in the Knight of Swords, which is more of a battle armament kind of person. But the Knight of Cups, traditionally, historically, was connected to a messenger. Out of all of the knights, some knights are not about just messages, by the way. Like the Knight of Wands is more about immigration and emigration, right? But the Knight of Cups was the knight, historically, that a king would send to send a message to a neighboring city, a neighboring town, or a neighboring kingdom. And you know, I always get into historical avenues, tales of mythology and history and science and psychology when I do my readings. So we'll get into that Knight of Cups dynamic there because that is a messenger card. It is in the upright position. And they do usually come with favorable news, historically speaking. If we look at that knight in the Arthur Edward Waite way of looking at tarot, which again, this deck is based off of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, which he created. Over 100 years ago, he published a book called The Pictorial Key to the Tarot. And in that book, he described the favorable energy of the Knight of Cups in the upright. It quite literally means approach and arrival. Somebody who gets the determination to go forward, right? So that is to say, go forward to communicating with you. And he holds a cup in his hand. What cup? The Ace of Cups, right? See, right here. It's the same cup. That cup of the Ace of Cups is the energy that is likened to the phrase, your cup runneth over. That is a big cup of love and emotions. Sometimes that Ace of Cups, if I was doing a pregnancy reading, would be a great example of families having children and pregnancy. That's not to say that your person is about to announce a pregnancy. What I'm saying is that card is so joyful, it becomes like this massive overflowing joy. There is a lot of love to that card when the Ace of Cups is in the upright position. Are they going to communicate with you? Absolutely, according to this energy. Now, the World card does insinuate that you guys have ended something at some point, but what's lovely is that the World card, as the final card in tarot, is about going on to a new cycle that typically involves the aces. Once you get to the end of a cycle, a new cycle begins, right? And I noticed, it's kind of funny that as I put my other deck, or not my other deck, but the deck down, the one that I just shuffled out, I'm looking at the bottom of the deck here and I'm like, oh, the Four of Cups, or the Four of Pentacles is here. And so this person, I think I'll incorporate this into the reading because it was staring at me like that. This person, although you went through a separation or an ending with this person, the Four of Pentacles is the card that says they cannot let go. That is why that pentacle is there, and that, this little figure, what's this little guy again? Armadillo. This armadillo, that's why he is holding on. That armadillo is sitting there, gripping on in the way that the traditional Four of Pentacles would in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So let's jump right into it then. Let's see what they want to talk about, shall we? Let's shuffle these cards again. You guys got a swift, great energy. You know, no Devil card, no Heartbreak card, no Towers crumbling down. Let's move into what it is that they want to communicate with since you're going to be hearing from them. You lucky buggers. I am a Libra, and I did not get such luck from the person I wish I could hear from. Okay. All right. So The High Priestess in the reversal is here. Oh, okay. See, the High Priestess, I'm going to tell you a story about the High Priestess here, a historical truth. In history, again, Arthur Edward Waite, when he created the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, he had a really peculiar energy for the High Priestess that most people miss. He believed that the High Priestess was the kind of like the opponent of the Pope card, the Hierophant, saying that the Hierophant card was the energy of dogmatic rules of institutions like the Catholic Church. That card reflects the Roman Catholic Church. That's why there's a Pope on it, right? And the High Priestess being the opponent to Arthur Edward Waite, his words, not mine, this was the card of the true God. The true temple was his words. That what this High Priestess essentially did is it tore down the rules and the power of the Hierophant card. It took things and eliminated the rigid wall of the rules that a person was giving themselves. Now we're in a section of a reading here where we are talking about what this person wants to talk to you about. And when the High Priestess is here, in the reversal, she is unable to tear down the kind of rules and situation of like institutional stronghold that she should be. So I think that this person might have difficulty. There might be something in their life that they're not able to tear down effectively or get themselves out of this way of thinking. Like something is too rigid. It's like locked onto them. It could be an actual institutional thing also. Like it could be their career, their work, their location, their family house structure. Whatever it is that they're stuck in, if it's a mental thinking process or an actual physical, like tangible institution, they are going to talk to you about why they're stuck in that situation, why they're having difficulty pulling down that problem. In addition, the Empress is here, and the Empress is a counterpart to the Emperor. So this person may feel incomplete without you because there's only one half here. So where's the other half, right? And again, we are in the part of the reading that talks about what this person wants to say. So I think it feels like to them that there is a missing other half. And the Empress is also the connection to the High Priestess. That like the High Priestess, eventually, if she does her job correctly, she becomes the Empress. The Empress is the mother quality. The Empress is the one who rules the kingdom of the earthly paradise, it was called. Not the kingdom of heaven, not the heavenly paradise, but she's in charge of the earthly paradise, which is why she's always depicted with a lot of abundance and shrubs and growth and trees around her and a beautiful throne. That's her jurisdiction. It's a very homey feeling in the upright. But in the reversal position, this person, much like they might feel incomplete and they want to talk about that, there might be some kind of a quality with a feeling like they're not centered at home that they want to talk about. You might feel like they're home and they might feel incomplete, or they might have an actual difficulty with their home life. In addition, there could be some of you out there who have difficulties with a mothering quality. It could be difficulties they have with their mother or an in-law, or some kind of a situation that's happened in their past connected to a feminine energy that might be difficult for them. And they might want to talk to you about that. The Empress card is also the card in the reversal of a lack of self-nurturing. So this person may be struggling with showing love effectively. Firstly, to themselves, because the Empress card is the card of self-nurture. And then she takes that self-nurture and gives to others when she's in the upright. She is a mother. She's supposed to give energy and love to others, right? But in the reversal, she doesn't even have the capability to do it for herself, let alone for someone like you as a potential. And then lastly, the Five of Swords here. Five of Swords in the upright, that's struggle, that's loss. That's sabotage and difficulties, whatever difficulties that they might have had in the past, or if they perhaps had difficulties with you, they want to talk about it. They also could be very guarded because the original Knight of Cups that we saw is a person who wears a lot of armor. So they do protect themselves. And the Five of Swords, because it's an energy of battle to some degree, it leads people to be protective of themselves. And so while, yes, this person does want to talk, I think they're very cautious. So they may express themselves delicately when you guys do have conversations. And that's the gist of it, guys. That's the gist of it. You are, according to this reading, going to hear that no contact. And I think this is going to be the kind of conversation that reveals a different side of this person, or almost like a hidden or secretive side of this person that they want to talk about. And at first, they might not want to talk about it, but I think they're pressing themselves towards it. The High Priestess in the reversal does insinuate resistance as well. But because it's both the High Priestess and the Empress, those are cards that will call somebody to doing something anyways. So they can be resistant all they want. The High Priestess and the Empress will whip this person into shape to some degree and get those secrets out. But it happens at the right time. I just want to say that as well. It reminds me of the story of the Chariot. And we don't have the Chariot here, but the Chariot is a character that has the ability to read the scroll that the High Priestess usually holds. In this deck, it's a wolf. But if there was a priestess sitting there on the picture, she would have a scroll, the Torah scroll, in her hand. And only at the right moment does she allow a particular person to open and read that scroll. The Chariot is not one such person. Now, I know that there is no Chariot here, but I'm just saying, with the High Priestess in the reversal position, and that being a card of resistance, then I feel like this person not only has resistance to speaking, although they will, it's going to be at the right time that the scroll of life kind of opens up for them. If you can understand that metaphor. Right place, right time, right moment, as led by Spirit. So yes, I will leave you off with that. And I will wish you all the absolute best. And if you're ever interested in some extra readings, those are already up on TikTok. This week, I'm going to upload some February readings of love onto TikTok. So you guys can always get some of the extra videos over there, the free ones and the unlockable content videos over on TikTok. Or if you ever want a private reading like this, feel free to get a hold of me at the link in my bio or the description below that has all my details as well. And we can set up a private reading for you. I will talk to you later. Thank you very much, and ciao for now.